Hello everybody and welcome to what is your morning market update. This is simply just a compilation of all of the stock market videos and crypto videos that I've been filming this morning. The intention is that you'll be able to catch up on all of the stocks and cryptos that we've been looking at on the channel in one quick and organized place. Again, if you enjoy these sorts of things, you guys know to leave a like on it. I'm not sure if this content style does work, but the intention is to obviously bring you the updates, as well as perhaps bringing your attention to some stocks or cryptos that you may have not been considering before. All of the individual videos can be found on the channel themselves, and again, if any particular stocks or cryptos mentioned in this video stand out, leave a comment down below and I can make more content on those. Thank you for watching and I hope you do enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Look, today we are going to be looking at Ichl, a stock which today is up by 10%. Quite impressive to say the least. This is now moving in the right direction, and you've got to ask the question of what comes next. Well, over the course of this video, I'll be sharing all of my personal thoughts and opinions on what that might be. If you do enjoy this episode, please do make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. At the same time, do remember I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Anyway, very simply here, on the 5 days we are red by 13%. On the past month we are actually green, 32% up. However, from the highs to where we are now, down by 21. 6-month chart is looking very volatile. From May until the highs we are seeing gains well in excess of 1700%, and from July up to where we are now, still up a modest 177. Well, it's more than modest, I would say. It's actually quite impressive. The question then becomes, where do we go from here, and what do we look out for in the next few days? Well, a few things to highlight. It does appear to be the case now, and we don't have like massive confirmation of this yet, but it seemingly does appear to be the case that we are finding some supports. Now this support is roughly 51.19, 5119 as you can see. This holding up here, it's held up here as well in the past. And this comes at a very interesting time. This stock certainly did go oversold for a little period of time in the last couple of days, into today actually. Now we're seeing that trend obviously come back around. The stock is increasing. The question is whether we're able to hold on to these levels. If I was to establish a new support that I'd be looking for, it actually is going to be at 56.22, which is where we bounced off of today. It looks like we were able to sustain those gains, and we want to see that hold up yet again. A hold at this level would be significant, and again, it would set us up for the right direction and potentially signal more gains to come over the next couple of days. That is certainly going to be the next level that I am paying attention to. Levels of resistance that we are looking at, obviously it's going to be the high of the day that we are seeing difficulty at. We're looking at something like 61.25 to break it down a bit further. Break above that and the trend does potentially change. Again, this is only 1 day and we are up by 10%, which is no small feat, but it's worth paying attention to the larger scale, right? Yes, the stock is up big, but this all comes after drops from the 90-cent range or above. We found a nice level of support, potentially higher than where we were last time at 39. If this holds up and if we see the potential bounce, it's a great level to go from, and it could signify increases to come. Is it a bit early to call that yet? In my opinion, to a degree, yes. However, your opinion may vary. This is just what I personally think. I think it's very much an interesting stock to watch, and I'm going to have my eyes on this one over the next day or so. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I think there's a lot of potential here. And again, if we see more of this tomorrow, I think the trend could be possibly confirmed to the upside. But again, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see another update tomorrow, and I will of course bring that to you. Thank you for your time. I hope I'll see you again soon, guys. Goodbye. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at AMC stock, a company which is up by about 3% in today's trading. Very impressive, and again, now we bring ourselves up to significant levels to pay attention to here on the chart. Over the course of this quick video, I'll be sharing my personal thoughts and opinions on everything that we have seen today. If it does sound good, please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. Anyway, with that being said, we might as well jump straight in. So, first things first, what are we looking at here with AMC? Obviously, the broad trend for the past couple of days has been down. 5-day chart is looking green, however, and this is mainly being helped by what we're seeing in the last day or two. And you can see over here on the 1-month chart, this one is declining quite a bit. Overall, we've seen drops of 7% up to the 4th, but again, this nice increase of 4% puts us at a very interesting place. And now you've got to ask the question if we are able to see this bounce come back from here. Now, historically, AMC hasn't had supports sit close to this level. You know, we have seen supports at this level way back here, which is in April. We've seen that hold up again here and also here as well. However, the question then becomes, is it going to hold up now? Now, it does appear to be holding very, very nicely. And most critically, we are now coming up to key levels of resistance, which we need to break above. These are going to be at 285 all the way up to about 290, right? Past that and then past that into 295, we are then, I would say, potentially looking at a general uptrend for this stock. Again, we need to just basically break above these levels. Again, 285 up to 295, a key set of resistance levels for the stock are going to be up there. Past that, and we could be looking at highs beyond. However, it's also important to consider the steep momentum to the upside that we are seeing on this stock. Relative, we are still looking healthy on the RSI, which is also a good sign. I think there is some potential here still, right? General trend is going to be down. We've seen this over the last few months. But do we have the potential for a bounce? Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do. You know, it's just going to be about breaking past these key levels of resistance, levels that we are struggling at today, levels that we want to see us break past into tomorrow and the next couple of days worth of trading. We're seeing this one green by 0.35 in the trading post-market. However, at the same time, this is a very long way from tomorrow's pre-market. So time will tell. Again, those are really the key levels that I am paying attention to. You may agree, you may disagree. Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Goodbye. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's have another look at Litecoin over the past day or so. You can see very clearly here Litecoin in the 1-day chart down by 1.82%. The general trend is down. However, we are seeing this one bounce off of critical levels such as 107 and 106. The question now is, where does this one go from here? Over the course of this video, I'll be sharing with you my personal thoughts and opinions. As always guys, if you enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, but as usual, remember, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So, very simple for Litecoin, right? Just my opinions. I'm very impressed by the fact this is still holding above 112. I think that's a good thing. I'm very impressed that we were able to hold up above 100. That is also pretty good. Again, we've seen this one really now on a trend where the general downtrend is somewhat apparent, especially in the last couple of weeks, since about mid-August, but realistically not holding up too badly. I still think that there is potential, and again I've said this before, my opinion hasn't necessarily changed. I still think that there is potential that we could see this one drop below 100, right? And generally that is kind of my sentiment right here. And before anybody says it in the comments, I am very bullish on Litecoin. I'm a big fan of Litecoin, but I'm also trying to be as realistic as I personally can. I think that if we don't see a bounce off of these crucial levels that I get to, I think there's every possibility that we go lower. So, what are we looking for towards the upside? Well, the key levels to break above and hold. Number one is 114.8, levels of difficulty here in the past, all the way down to 114.3. Anywhere in the 114s, a break above there is going to push us potentially higher. We've struggled getting past here, both here and here in the past. Both of these points being relatively recently. Above that, you are looking to go potentially significantly higher. This is what I mean. You could push to 119, 120. But it's really about seeing if that level is actually able to hold. If we are able to hold onto that, then again, like I say, we could go and test 130, 135 again, a crucial level, which usually makes or breaks Litecoin. We get to that point and we either see a massive rally, a massive run and go significantly higher, or we come crashing back down. However, at the moment, I think it's a bit too soon to confirm whether this trend is actually likely. Towards the downside levels that I'm paying attention to, well, I'm looking at 111.39, levels that we've held before, and then looking below that all the way to 109.8. We've held onto that a couple of times too. Below that, you could be looking at 108.70, and I think below that, you are definitely going back down to 107, with potential pushes even lower to 104. Again, I'm still long-term bullish on Litecoin, and if the fundamentals or even technicals, I should say, if the technicals do line up perfectly or nicely, I think that the trend could still be up. And you've got to be fair with this one, right? We are seeing a higher high, or a higher low, I should say, than what we saw way back here in July. The trend on that time scale is still looking relatively good. It's about seeing if we can break above these upper levels and then push onto the even higher levels for a potential push again to or past 130 to 135. A push above that would be a significant upwards trend for Litecoin. At the same time, again, the trend today is red. If these levels don't hold up again at 111 and below, I think there's every potential we go lower. If they do, we're looking to break above these key levels, like I say, 114, 115, then higher past that. I'm not here to necessarily tell you what's going to happen. I'm just here to highlight the trends that I am looking for and the things that I think are possible or likely. So those are just the key levels that I'm looking at. Just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments, guys. Thank you for your time, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are looking at Open Door stock, as Open Door stock today has crashed by 9.17%. This really does come at a significant time. Just this morning, before the markets opened, we were looking at Open Door in the pre-market actually being quite green today. The question is, what has happened and where do we go from here? Over the course of this video, I'll be giving you all of my personal thoughts and opinions, so make sure to subscribe. At the same time, as always, remember, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. But yeah, we might as well jump straight in and get to the story here. Now, as you can see, we are seeing this stock falling by around 9%, which in itself is significant. Again, things looking so promising this morning, but is this really as bad as it seems? I mean, a few things stand out to me. You guys will already know that the stock has been rallying now for some time. From the lows that we saw way back when, in July, stock is up massively. Now this is significant for a number of reasons, and actually I think up to today the strong momentum that we have seen has been a very good sign. Now into the end of the day we have seen the stock actually level out. The majority of this drop came through the afternoon or morning period, and again to the late part of the day actually slowing down significantly, which is good. The question then becomes, where do we go from here, and what do we make of this share price decline? Well, a few things, right? And I always say this in every single video. I like to give you the both bullish and bearish potential scenarios that I am looking for. With that being said, it allows me to acknowledge, the potential best case and a potential worst case scenario. Now, actually, despite being not ideal, we are still looking above our potential best worst case scenario, which would have been finding their support around 576, 579, the previous high that we have seen. We've managed to remain above that for now, which in itself is a good sign. And again, it looks like we may be beginning to establish a support somewhat. Again, it's still too close to call, around about $6, right? If we can hold on to $6 as a new support, that is a very strong thing to see. Now, I know a lot of people are going to see this as a massive failure today. A lot of people will be looking at this in an ultimately negative way, but I kind of see it a bit differently, right? I don't see this as being a bad thing at all. I think if we look at this in context, things are still moving broadly in the right direction. Again, we're talking about a stock here that over the past couple of months is up literally hundreds of percentage points. You wouldn't necessarily expect that growth to just be, continuously up. We are going to see points where the stock comes down a little bit. And the question is whether we are able to actually hold on to the momentum that we have built in the intermediate time. It does appear here that this is the case. Again, we are holding very strongly onto levels at $6. I think going forwards into tomorrow, if we see this one consolidate, that in itself would be a massive sign of strength. But again, it's all to play for over the next couple of days. Ultimately, I'm still fairly impressed with what we are seeing. I think there's a lot more growth potential if we are to, see this one slightly consolidate and then potentially rise. I just don't think this is as much of a negative sign as many people think it is, especially in the broad context of a stock which is up, big in the midterm, in the short term even, we're up huge as well. RSI was coming into the overbought range for sure. We're now seeing that come back down. And again, you can make an argument that be it into the rest of the week or be it into the next couple of weeks, the stock is now getting to a point where things are leveling out nicely and we will or could potentially be looking at finding some levels of support. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now. Hello everybody, welcome to what in my opinion is an absolutely perfect day for BMNR. We are seeing Bitmine stock being up by 4%. This may seem like a small increase, but in the context of what we've been looking at over the last couple of days, this is a very bullish sign in my opinion. I'll be sharing my opinions over the course of this video as to why. I'll also be giving you what I'm looking for into tomorrow and the next couple of days. If it sounds like a good video, please do make sure to leave a like in it and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Anyway, with that being said, let's jump straight in. And again, remember, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Anyway, jumping straight into this one, you look at this over the past 5 days, over the past month even, stock generally falling quite a bit. From the highs to the lows, if I can get back up there, we're seeing this stock down by what? Well, we're looking at well in excess of 30%. And we just saw this one dropping and dropping and dropping. And the question then became, well, when are we going to establish a level of support with this stock? It just seemed to just be continuously falling. Now, or over the past couple of days I should say, we saw the trend somewhat slowing. And again, look at the charts and you can see this, right? Yes, downwards momentum continuing, but especially in the last couple of days, we'll call it from about, what, the 28th or 29th, the actual rate of decline was obviously reducing slowly. Stock was very much coming towards the oversold territory on the RSI. Now we are seeing that obviously somewhat change. Again, a little bit of a spike in the RSI, not necessarily at a concerning level yet, but the stock now is turning around potentially. Now, I've said this before and I'll say this again. You know, if this stock was, or even isn't, right, because there's still that potential. If this stock wasn't or isn't able to hold on to levels at 40 down to potentially 38, I think there's every potential that this stock goes lower. This level that we're at right now, or have been at I should say, is historically very strong. I'm going to call it 39.67. You can see the line that I'm drawing here, right? It draws back to here, draws all the way back to here, and also here. This has been a historical level of support, which has held up very, very nicely, right? The fact we're seeing this hold up again is very good. Is this, though, yet a bullish confirmation? Well, some people who want to be early, people who have a high risk tolerance, may see this as a perfect opportunity. But I think it's also important to highlight other things. Now, obviously, we know that we want to remain above 40.30 for the next few days on the low end, but then coming up to the high end, well, what do we have to break out above? Well, we're struggling to break about 44.26. You can see that both here and here, right? Not having the ease or the previous ease breaking past those points. Past that, we're very clearly on to 45.74. Then we can go up to test higher levels. You could be looking at 47 or higher. But really, for the next day or so, it really is that tight. And I think that is going to be the big determining range, you know, down to maybe 38 and at the high end, 44, 45. That is going to be the absolute determining range as to what likely happens, in my opinion, with this stock over the future couple of days. I think it's all to play for. Again, if we see this one drop lower than what we've seen previously, I think there's a high likelihood that we go much lower. However, if we're able to hold on to this and, you know, break above those higher levels, you could call that the potential early signs of a bullish trend reversal, right, going back to the upside. Time will tell. My opinions are lined out as clear, right? I'm not here to tell you whether it's going to go up or down. I'm just here to highlight the levels that I am looking at. So I hope that was a briefly useful video for you. Again, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. Thank you, and I hope I'll see you again. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on NEO stock. We are seeing this stock in the past day actually be up by 3.7%. This is quite impressive, and it shows a lot of strength behind this stock, especially considering what we have seen over the last week or so. I think this sets the stage for a potentially very positive and bullish week, as I will get to over the course of this video. If you enjoy it, make sure to please leave a like and subscribe. Also remember, this is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. Anyway, we're going to jump straight in and we've got to look at the 5-day trend, right? Ultimately moving lower from the highs to the lows. We are down by what, 10%? And over the past period we're down by 0.96. Over the past month, still very bullish, and this is absolutely worth considering. And I want to just highlight this, you know, go back to early to mid-July, and this was a $3 stock, $3.20 or something like that. We have obviously therefore seen a large increase in price ever since. And the fact that we are able to hold on to levels not just here at 450, but then even higher, potentially into the $6 or $5 range, is impressive by itself. Now, looking at what's actually happened, we've seen NEO stock actually go down to the levels roughly around 590, 595, something like that, which in itself is not bad. Again, this is a stock that's up big. You're going to expect these small declines. And actually, I would say is a broad sign of a healthy stock which is ultimately moving in the right direction. You can now see this is given time for critical indicators like the RSI to absolutely cool off, now looking very neutral, potentially a good indicator for things to come. And again, it's very apparent, or it is becoming somewhat apparent, that we could be looking at a bottom here at 595, right? If that is the case, then this could be at the start of a very interesting trend. And we've seen this before. We've seen this in NEO stock a couple of times. Again, just look back here. See this massive increase or relatively big increase? Slight cool-off period. Are we seeing this again now and getting ready for the next rally upwards? Well, again, I think that's possible. To see this, we're going to need to see 594, 595 hold up. Then you're looking to break above levels which could be somewhere like 630, previous levels of resistance, before, well, initially you could even say 620, 623. Then past that, of course, you're looking to get past $7, a range that we are just struggling to get into. Again, it very much depends what your opinion on NEO stock is and what your risk tolerance is. It's definitely an early sign or an early day to call this one a potential turnaround stock. It's definitely very early to say whether this one's going to go back up and go back up higher. But if you do have that bullish perspective, you've got to ask that question where we are now. At the same time, if you're a bit more cautious like I am, I personally would wait on this one for a bit more of a sign of confirmation. However, you guys can play things exactly how you like. That is completely up to you. Thank you for your time in watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do make sure to leave a like for me and subscribe if you can. And I hope I will see you in a future episode. Goodbye for now.